I did graduate work in Russian history was my intention. And I'd applied for graduate work in Russian history and went to Georgetown University right here in DC, which is an odd place to do Jewish history, being a Jesuit university and all. And I worked there with a fellow, Richard Stites, who was my advisor, professor of Russian cultural history. And basically, we had an assignment our first semester there as graduate students to go to the Smolensk archives, which were captured archives that had been captured by the United States Army and were available in Washington. We had to go find a document and write about the document. And I'd studied Russian for a few years in university, and I was expecting to use Russian, but I was going through them, and that's when I found some documents in Yiddish, and just kind of thought for fun, let's see if I can read them. I hadn't read Yiddish in many, many years, and saw that I could read them. So that's what I wrote on. I wrote on those documents. They had to do with a Yiddish musical performance somewhere in Smolensk province. And when my advisor saw that and said, hey, you can read Yiddish, why don't you use Yiddish? That's when I became interested in Yiddish culture in the Soviet Union and wrote my first book on Yiddish theater in the Soviet Union. So that was Richard Stites, who was, I think, very influential for me and changed how I look at culture in general and history in general. And he passed away last year, unfortunately. But he was a really vibrant fellow and very influential for me academically.